Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Critical Hitz Podcast, episode 31. My name is Trainer Scout.
I am Genelite Gaming. And this is Critical Hitz.
Guys,
we're finally back.
Hope you heard the... Oh, dude, I'm so glad we're back, but I hope you guys heard the voice crack. I apologize. I am feeling a bit under the weather right now, but no, that was not the case for the last 2 months that, I have been gone. A lot of you guys have reached out to us, and I just want to say, wow. Wow, oh wow, that means the absolute world to both myself and Genelac there, because that was kind of a morale booster, right? Somebody even said, I don't know if you saw this comment, dude, but it was, no, you shared this comment with me. It was, hey, what happened to the podcast, right? Because I used to listen to it on my way to work. Yeah, man, I thought that was great. And then we had a couple people that were actually commenting over on Spotify saying, hey, what's going on with the podcast here? Our latest episode was with the great Pokey Rado, and which is arguably, no, not arguably, it is the best podcast episode that we have done to date. And you guys are showing it so much love over on YouTube and Spotify. We love you, Rado. And we're very, very grateful for that. Rado, like Genelac said,
we got a big one coming,
we love you. Yeah, we got a couple of big episodes coming up. But yeah, just to kind of explain a little bit, I was gone, right? I was actually back in the States. So for those of you that actually did get a chance to meet up with me back in the States, super cool to meet you. And then, we had to, make it work. We couldn't, I couldn't meet up with Genelac, in his humble abode. We tried to make it work, but it just wasn't going to happen. So we're going to try to make it work at a much later date, and maybe even convince him to come over here to the UK. So to all of our UK followers, help me out here. All right, let's get him over here. Hey. Okay, let's show him around, get him some beans on toast, right? Take him to the London Eye. We'll have a little bit of fun, right?
I still don't believe you guys eat that regularly. I understand that it's probably something that's consumed, but there's no way you eat that regularly.
Oh, I don't eat that regularly, but a lot of people around here eat beans on toast regularly, dude. I'd be lying if I said that I don't see it at, at least I'll say 6 plates at every breakfast we go to.
Hot take, though. Beans on toast isn't that weird to me if you add eggs.
No, it's still weird.
I'll smack some beans on. I mean, beans are good for you, dude. They got fiber, they got protein, lots of nutrients. Throw it on some eggs with some toast, and I'd be game. I'd be down.
All right, you know what? I'm not going to argue with that, right? But if you want to throw some eggs on there, you got to throw some sausage. I mean, let's just make it a McGriddle. Give me a little
some sausage.
Yeah, some sausage. Yeah. Give me some sausage. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you guys know what was going on, we are back, and so we're going to jump right into the episode with 5 questions from the viewers, guys. Question number 1 is, what is your favorite card in Ascended Heroes? Genelac, everybody probably already knows yours, so you go first, buddy.
That's easy. SIR Mega Dragonite. I've been a Mega Dragonite stan since it came out. I feel like you've changed your tune a little bit with the design overall. A little. You were a big hater when it came out, and I've heard you say on record that you're more of a fan now. Just saying.
I'm a fan of the card. I'm still not a fan of the dragon with wings on its head. I'm still not a fan of that. No, dude, I think it's so dumb. I think it's just one of the goofiest designs we have ever had for a Pokemon, let alone a
He's
mega
supposed
Pokemon.
To be a little goofy.
No, he's supposed to be a little goofy, but he's not supposed to be like goofy. You know what I mean? Like it's the difference
like
between
goofy. Yeah. Why are you doing that? Goofy. What does that mean?
Dude, it's the difference between like somebody that's like, dumb or somebody that's like dumb. You know what I mean?
Oh, hey, listen. He's goofy. He's
Goofy. Anyway, no.
All right. Who's your favorite? What's your favorite card in the set?
Oh, dude, the Ethan's Macargo, bro.
100%. You just keep going for Ethan's cards at this point. That's so funny.
Dude, that is a very well-designed card. Okay, look. There are extremely beautiful cards in that set, right? I will admit that the Mega Dragonite EX is a fantastic card. Wow. I would argue that card is almost perfect.
They killed it.
Yeah, I would say it is almost perfect.
Maybe, I heard a comparison the other day that it had everything. It had so I heard a comparison the other day that it has everything that the Mega Gardevoir has from just a texture coloration perspective.
Oh yeah.
With just an even more hype Pokemon. And to be clear, I think Gardevoir is up there from a popularity perspective.
Oh yeah.
But Dragonite is slightly more popular. And so when you do that with the new Mega form, right? Because obviously Mega Gardevoir's been out for years. So I think I think it is just it's one of my chases, right? You have that and the Charizard SIR from Phantasmal, or probably as a Charizard, Raichu, Like if they release a really good Mega Raichu X or Mega Raichu Y cards,
Yeah.
I will froth at the mouth. I will froth.
Well, I will say this: we do have the Pikachu EX SIR in Ascended Heroes, right? Not the
It's so
terrestrial
good.
one or terrestrialized
Yep.
one, but the one standing next to the
The
tree.
jungle one.
Wow, dude, they have that Viridian Forest Pikachu artwork. Love that. I wouldn't say it's my top 5, but it is really, really good. So giving credit where credit is due for Ascended Heroes, easily one of the best Pikachu artworks we've gotten in the last 5 years.
And I would argue that Ascended Heroes might be one of the best sets we've seen.
Well, okay,
like in a long time.
We have the second question here. Is Ascended Heroes the best set of the last 5 years? So going back to 2021.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So back to 2021.
Mm-hmm. That brings us right to Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies.
That's tough. That's like CR and Crown Zenith, right? Like
Yep.
I mean, you and I talk about Crown Zenith a lot too. Is like,
the
best
cream of the
set.
crop, dude. I'll tell you my answer.
It might be. You know what?
It's not a might be, buddy. Ascended Heroes.
I think
just
it
so
is.
This is on record. Ascended Heroes is the best set in the last 5 years.
Yeah, because you get God packs. Like, I love I don't know what they call it, the comic book artworks.
Yep.
Like, there's a set of those. There's a lot of stuff to collect in this set. It has great pull rates. The idea of a God pack is unreal. And I do think its peak is better than the Crown Zenith peak. Right? Like, I do think that a couple of these SIRs, Crown Zenith was awesome. Don't get me wrong. Evolving Skies, awesome.
Yeah.
But I think people forget those two sets, because Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies have two nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Chilling Pain and Evolving Cries.
Yep.
And for individuals that weren't around or are going out and buying a $3,000 booster box of Evolving Skies, it can hurt you. It can really hurt you. Those pull rates are bad.
Yep.
So that's why I'm saying it's more like Crown Zenith versus Ascended. I do think Ascended is. You know what? I'll go on record too. I think Ascended Heroes is the best set of the last 5 years. I think it's the best set since Team Up or Cosmic Eclipse. I think you can go back that far.
Yeah, I would say that Cosmic Eclipse. Cosmic Eclipse is probably the best set that we've gotten in the last 10 years. I would say Ascended Heroes is number 2, and I would say Team Up is number 3. The only reason I say that is, again, those comic ultra rares out of Ascended Heroes are killer, dude. And again, they incorporated one of the best things that we've gotten to see in the English sets since 151, and that is God packs, right? So I think there's no argument, man, that Ascended Heroes is the best set that we've gotten in the last 5 years. And I even opened one ETB of it. Shout out to my wife for picking this ETB out at our local card shop. I pulled the Team Rockets Mewtwo EX SIR and the Dragonite comic rare. Right,
Ooh.
so both of those cards together, it was like a $340 pull, right, between those two cards, which number
crazy.
One got me hype when I saw the cards. I didn't even realize how much they were worth until I looked it up and was like, oh my god, do I send these off for grading or not? Because the Team Rockets Mewtwo, it's damn near perfect. Oh, I was addicted to the pull. I was addicted to this set as soon as I pulled those.
This set is all about how much they print.
Yeah.
I think that this set, no matter what, is going to be expensive. Like, I think they could print this. I think they could print this for a long time, and it would still be a very valuable set because there are so many hits, so many popular Pokemon, so many like mini sets within it, right? Like we're talking about the comic rares, we're talking about the SIRs, we're talking about like the 2 gold rares that are in there. I think that like unless the Pokemon Company prints this the way they did Shining Fates, like we would need a massive reprint to and even then it's just a better set than Shining Fates too. So I think that this set has the potential to be like an Evolving Skies level like appreciator too for all of our value listeners, like people who are looking to for value. I think this set is super fun to open. I think it's a super good set to hold. I think that it is I haven't been able to find much, right? Like I've been looking around. I found like a 3-pack blister here or there. I have not opened an ETB yet. I can't find one. I refuse to pay the scalper prices. Like it's nuts. So yeah, we'll see. But I do think it's the best of the last 5 years. I think it puts Cosmic Eclipse. I think those two actually are closer than people think. So it could be
yeah.
your best set in the last 10 years.
Absolutely. No, I would say, I would go so far as to say it's the best set in the last 10 years, even, right? Cosmic
Yeah,
is
it's
will
up
go
there.
down as one of the greatest sets we've ever had, right? Shout out to JFKC for loving this set so much. But yeah, dude, Ascended Heroes, I agree with everything you said, and I cannot wait to see what happens with that set, because I'm going to tell you this right now, even if they do print as much as they did for Shining Fates, it won't impact it much. It's just that desirable, and everybody has a card that they can pull out of the set and say, I actually really enjoyed this. Whereas compared to like Phantasmal Flames, there's not a lot of ultra rares and SIRs and IRs that people can go like, oh, I really like that Pokemon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then get that corresponding card. In Ascended Heroes, the biggest set that we've had in the last 10 years, yeah, you could absolutely do that. So anyway.
Oh, dude.
That's
Master setting Ascended Heroes is going to be expensive.
Oh my God, yeah.
I get people
right
that would
now
want
it must
to
cost
do
like
it, too.
$7,000.
It's a lot. It's going to be expensive. There's a lot of big hits. I think it's hard too because there are so many hits of the same rarity, getting the one you need. We've seen a lot of creators talk about this, about like if there's only 3 SIRs, when you get an SIR pull, you got a 33% chance, right?
Yeah.
That is not the case with Ascended. So yeah, I think we rest our case. The answer is yes, it's definitely the best set of the last 5 years, and I think it has contention to be the best set in the last 10.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, yeah, I mean, I'm going back towards, you and I start to have bias, right? When you go back past 10 years, that's when you start having bias, because it was much rarer to get stuff.
Yeah, we can't go back past 10 years, but
you can't compare eras, baby.
Yeah. I mean, technically we are comparing, but it's not a big deal because Sun and Moon was the first set series, right?
Yeah.
That introduced those full art trainer galleries, non-textured cards. But going into question number 3, we have, what TCG are you playing or collecting during this Pokemon craze? Genelec, are you collecting or playing any TCGs?
I'm still collecting Pokemon and playing Pokemon, to be honest. I'm just doing it differently. Like, you just take what you can get. That's what I'll say, right? Is like, I'm not, like, so I just talked about how I'm not finding any Ascended Heroes. So I'm not going out and banging my head against the wall trying to open and find Ascended Heroes. I am fortunate enough that I have lots of cards that I haven't opened, right? Like, I just, I through my move, I wasn't opening cards for like a year or two. So I have Sword and Shield I can be opening. I have early Scarlet and Violet that I can be opening. So like, I'm just kind of ripping those packs, going to card shows, and having fun that way. And then honestly, yeah, like scanning as many code cards as I can and trying to get a deck going on TCG Live. But you know me, like I'm more into, I'll be honest, Pokemon Go's been lit again. Like it's that time of year where I start to get pulled outside, play a bunch of Pokemon Go. So it's a give or take on how much time I have, right? With so I'm not playing a lot of TCG right now. I am still collecting it, but it's still Pokemon for me. What about you? I know what you're gonna say.
You should already know what I'm gonna say, and my answer is gonna change when this next TCG comes out. But the shout out to our friends, Naruto Mythos TCG. The set just released, first edition, 3 days ago, two or 3 days ago, and oh my God, dude! I ordered 5 booster boxes. Haven't ripped any of them yet. Okay, but I ordered a collection box because I was like, I can't wait to open the collection box, and I will open, a couple of booster boxes with my wife. Oh, 100%, dude! I was so excited, and
you guys have to understand, he loves Naruto.
Love. Anyway, I opened up the collection box and I pulled the secret rare gold Itachi, dude. I was losing my mind, bro. These secret rares are so dope. They come, like, opening the collection box, there was a pamphlet on how to play. There was a little collection thing. It was literally like the same items that you would get from an ETB, right, in the collection box. So now I've got everything that I need to actually play the TCG. And, I'm here all by my lonesome. So as soon as I opened this up, I started popping out all the tickers and coins and chakra symbols. Yeah, and I started setting up all the cards that I got in the TCG format, because I was like, oh, this is going to be so cool. I can't wait. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, I got to play against myself. That's not going to be fun.
Yeah, I was like, who are you going to, even then, like, who are you going to play against, dude? Nobody has these cards yet.
Nobody has these cards yet. I haven't found anybody in the UK right now that is collecting it and is playing it. And I think
if you're playing Naruto and you want to play with Scout,
Yeah.
Go find Scout. He wants to play Naruto with you.
Mhm.
He would gladly do it.
I'll pay you. I'll pay you to come play Naruto with me.
Don't, bro.
I
That's too
need
desperate.
friends.
That's too desperate.
It's too desperate. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come on that strong. I won't pay you. Anyway, yeah.
Wink.
The packs are amazing. The cards are awesome. And, I mean, the packs literally cost the same as Pokemon packs over here. They've got a similar amount of cards each pack. Like a booster box is 20 packs. Each pack is 10 cards, and it was just a thrill to open, man. I was reading through some of these names that I haven't seen from the original Naruto show in a minute, like the Sound Ninja. Right, and I was reading through, and it was super cool, really cool experience. If you guys haven't checked them out yet, Naruto Mythos TCG, you start collecting, start playing. It's just super dope. I can't wait to actually start building decks and understanding the TCG more.
Did I tell you that I've opened that before you?
Naruto Mythos TCG? No, you opened the Kaizu cards. Not the Mythos TCG.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you opened the CCG. I was going to say, don't mess with me like that. That didn't come out in the States. Okay? If that would have been the case, dude, I'd have been calling the Mythos team like, what? How did this? Dude, I was about to call you a lump.
I just remember opening Naruto at Card Party. And they were saying that they were coming to the States.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it was Kaizu or Mythos, but
Kaizu. 100%.
I just remember telling him.
Yeah, I love it so much. It's so great. I'm very happy right now.
I honestly knew you would say Naruto. I'm a little bit surprised you didn't say One Piece. I'll say this: One Piece is still like crazy hot.
Is it really?
Over here, it very much is. Like, Jesus. I'll say this: there was one major vendor at a card show I was at this weekend that was like almost strictly One Piece. He was completely busy the entire day, like just slammed. Like people are still playing it; they're freaking out. The live action came out with their second season, so I think like we're watching that. My wife and I are watching that. Love it. It's awesome. I have no idea how they're gonna do like Gear 5 Luffy and stuff on the live action. We'll see how they make that all happen.
Spoilers.
I mean, what? Like they don't even know the gears yet.
I didn't know what a gear was. Come on.
Exactly. So we'll see. But that makes sense, honestly.
Moving on to question 4. Should we spend the $70 on Pokemon Pokopia?
Yes.
Buddy? Oh, okay. Well.
Yes.
Shocked.
Yes. Oh, wait, let me say this a different way. Yes.
Why? Why should the people spend the $70 on Pokopia that haven't? And I am included in the people that haven't spent the $70 yet. So sell me on it. Sell me this pen, dog.
Have you ever been stressed? You ever be tired and you're just like, man, I just need to get away. I need to get lost. I need to relax a little bit. But I don't want to have to think too hard. And I want some like soft, cozy music, and I just want to, talk to some cozy people and just be cozy. You ever feel that way?
I do, and then I end up playing Minecraft.
It's so much better. And it's on a Switch. And I'll say this: my biggest problem with Pokemon Pokopia is it's probably going to make me buy another Switch too, because I cannot get my wife off of it.
Oh, dude, that's crazy talk. You're telling me you're going to drop another $500 because you can't get your
wife to
stop playing it?
I'm not going to. We're just going to have to work out a very strict schedule of who gets to play. And even she was like, "Oh, I feel so bad. I've been monopolizing it. We should get a second Switch too." And I was like, "Honey, we don't need a second Switch too. You need to learn moderation, just like you always tell me I need to moderate." So we're figuring it out.
That's funny. She's that addicted to it,
dude. That's the thing is like I actually think she likes it more than I do, and I like it a lot. But it is a really fun, endless, limitless game that you can't play wrong. Like you could progress the story as much as you want. You could spend 100 hours in the very first area just cleaning and organizing. Like whatever you like doing, you could go do. They don't really limit you much. It is so worth it to me. And I will say this, the dialogue in the game is hilarious.
Oh, there's like dialogue in it.
So dialogue being the text boxes.
Yeah.
Right? But the text boxes and the personalities that they give some of these Pokemon, it's really good. It like you're going to find a Pokemon that lives in the sea and it speaks like a pirate. And you would never expect this Pokemon to speak like a pirate. I'm going to be very clear. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's awesome.
That's,
It really is.
That sounds pretty good. So, okay, you are telling us that we have to buy it. You're very passionate about this. What do you give it on a scale from 1 to 10? As just a game, not a Pokemon game, as just a game, scale from 1 to 10, buddy.
If Animal Crossing is the best to ever do this, which I think they are, like the cozy game.
Yeah.
And I never give 10s because 10 is perfection, and that imperfection doesn't exist. So if Animal Crossing is a 9, I give Pokemon Pokopia probably like an 8. I think it is. I think it is right behind it. I think it is one of the best cozy games. I think it's done an amazing job, honestly, with what you're able to do. Yep.
Really? Okay, so do you think this is going to go on to become one of the best-selling Pokemon games of all time?
Yes. Absolutely. I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, 100%.
Dude, that's awesome. Okay, so guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Do I have the $70 right now to spend on a Pokemon game? Maybe.
Yeah, you do.
Do I want to do it though? I mean, because like I'm telling you, man, I'm so stuck in my old ways. I literally could play Minecraft and do the same thing.
My biggest gripe with Pokopia is that I think it's a key card. So I bought the physical version, but it's red and it says like key card on there. And then I spent like 3 hours downloading it onto the key card. So I think I have it. I'm very confused. Like, somebody down in the comments needs to explain to me how key cards work. Because I think now I have it no matter what.
Wait, so are you renting it?
I don't know. That's the part that's like very, like, I don't get it. Because if you spend that long downloading, my expectation is like I downloaded it and now I have it.
Huh.
So I think it's like a physical copy. Like, what I'm saying is if they stopped service, I think I could still play it. I think.
Interesting. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I don't either. I wish the game was just in the card, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of having like
A
memory in it. I don't know why they did that. But I know I had to download the whole game into the cartridge, which was weird.
That's ridiculous. Okay. Well, you know what, guys? Either which way, it's a yes to buy Pokopia. So if you haven't already, and Genelac did convince you to buy it, let us know your thoughts, especially after purchasing it and playing it. And if you do end up spending 100 hours in the first area, let us know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, and try to convince me to buy Pokopia because, wow, spending $70 on anything right now just sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, so I was looking it up a little bit, and basically the way that it works is it says a Nintendo game card is a physical Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge that does not contain the full game data, but acts as a physical license or key, initiating an internet download of the game upon insertion. I can vouch for that. It requires downloading the full game to play the system micro SD card, but unlike digital purchases, must remain inserted to play, allowing for reselling and lending. So I think it's, I don't know like why they did that. Because they're not. It's not.
You could plug it into my Switch, and I could play it no problem.
Yes. So it says these cards are not tied to a specific Nintendo account, meaning they can be traded, sold, or used. Because the card does not contain the data, e.g., the full game download via internet required. Note on the packaging indicates the necessary storage space needed. So it's basically, it's like their way of protecting the card until it gets to you. Is my understanding. Like somebody could swipe this stuff.
Yeah.
Like somebody could swipe the key card. And if it hasn't been downloaded yet, then it's worthless. So once it's downloaded, I think you're good to go.
So once you download it on your Switch, I could then take your key card, put it into my Switch, download Pokopia, and then play an entirely different save file?
No.
Okay.
You have to have the cartridge.
But that's what I just said. I take your key card.
But it's on the cartridge though. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm misunderstanding this. Is there two things? Is there a key card and a cartridge?
No. So the key card is the cartridge.
Yeah.
They mail you the cartridge.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it.
Yeah.
Once I put it into my Switch.
Yep.
Oh, and it connects to my Nintendo account.
Cartridge. Got it.
Because they know I bought the Pokopia game.
Yep.
Then it downloads onto the cartridge.
Yep.
Now it's on the cartridge.
Okay. Now that makes sense. All right. Sorry. Yeah. For some reason, in my mind, I was like downloading from the cartridge to the console. But
it's a weird step to me. I don't know why they do that.
I get it now. I get the, I don't get their line of thinking for why they're doing it but I get the process of the memory card. Anyway, this is going to confuse the hell out of me for the rest of the episode. So we're going to move off of this and go to our fifth question, buddy. And that is, what starter are we choosing for Gen 10?
Gen 10, wind and waves. So high. I'm still pretty hype about it. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty hype about all three when it came out, but I recognize the fact that I am a hype beast. I like being excited about things. I'm normally a fire starter, but I'll be honest with you. There's something about Gekwa that did it for me. Like I think Gekwa has the most design to it so far. But I think that I think Pombon and Gekwa can be ruined by going up on two legs. So for that reason, I'm going to stick with Gekwa for now, but I reserve the right to change my answer based upon what their final evolution looks like.
You had to reserve your right to change your answer. Okay, well, you know what? Because you thought about it so well, I'm just going to say my answer is Gekwa, right? I'm a water type trainer at heart. I chose Squirtle.
You're loyal.
Right? I chose Totodile, and then I chose Mudkip. So I will stick with the water starters as long as I can. Now, granted, am I a little upset at knowing that it's going to be water poison? Kind of, yes. Because then
we don't know that.
No, dude, come on. The odds of it not being water poison, so infinitesimal. I mean, it just wouldn't make sense. It would piss me off, actually. If it wasn't water poison, I would drop the starter.
Should have
I
would
poison
release typing. It should.
Yeah.
It should.
Now, granted, that we do have to talk about their designs, man. Because when I saw this, I was angry. I was angry because there is not any, I'll say, what am I trying to say? There was no detail, right, to the starters. They're just so flat and lame.
Yeah.
My
wife and I talked about that. Yeah. So she watched it with me. Because I mean, honestly, I was up at 6 a.m. and I was like, let's go watch. It was like Christmas for me. And she said the same thing of like, I was kind of sad seeing all the comments and people not liking the starters. And I was like, I looked at her and I asked her like, what makes a Pokemon starter? Like, what makes a Pokemon to you? Right? Because nobody ever hates on Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur from a design perspective, right? And she was like, well, honestly, the wording she used is smooth. Like, they're too smooth. There's not enough texture. There's not enough pixels to the designs anymore. Like, they're just like, and I looked at it, I was like, you're right. Like, when you look at Charmander, you look at Squirtle, like, think about the detail in Squirtle's shell. Or think about the detail in Charmander's tail. Right?
Yep.
And I went back and looked at them, and they are cartoonized, smoothed out, simplified versions.
Yep.
And they're continuing to do that art style. And I think that's why I gravitated towards Gekwa, because it had the most design.
Yep.
To the three, but they're keeping the early evolutions very simple. And I think they're doing that intentionally as like, this is the early stages. There's not a lot to it, but I disagree with that. I think they need to bring that baseline up, right? Because what I mean by that is they need to detail these things more.
Yeah.
And then continue to elaborate on it so that the final evos are even more detailed. Because think about the detail that went into Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. There's a lot of design elements to those Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right? So, when you compare that to Cinderace, Inteleon, and Rillaboom, they're smooth. They're very smooth. Yep. Right? Like, Rillaboom's got his drums, which try to help out. But, like...
Inteleon's only 3 colors, maybe 4, right?
4 colors, very smooth, very curved everywhere. Not a lot of texture. I don't even know if you could see his scales. Same thing with oh my god, how am I forgetting his name already? Cinderace. Same thing.
Yeah.
No, same thing with Cinderace. You don't really see textures of his fur. It's not like he has Pyroball out all the time.
Yep.
Right? Like, there's a lot of sprites that are just it's just a rabbit. Right? With like white and red. So, I think that I don't know. I don't know why they're doing that. There's not enough pixels. Like, as a former Dota 2 player, we used to talk about this all the time, because every hero or new skin that was released, it was just more and more pixels, and we loved that.
Yeah.
Right? It was like fire, flames, glowing, like more pixels. Like, yes, give us the pixels. I wish Pokemon would do that.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not doing it, and it's kind of aggravating. But since we're on the topic of Gen 10, I want to talk because, guys, we haven't had the chance to talk about this, and I know you guys have probably seen everybody else, giving their 2 cents on Pokemon Wind and Waves. But Genelec, I would like to know, as we break down the introduction video to the new Winds and Waves, what are your initial thoughts of that trailer, and what's your initial thoughts of Gen 10 now that we've talked about the starters and the reduction in pixels?
I mean, I think that Gen 10, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
I think it looks fantastic. Like, I saw a side-by-side of, like, Scarlet and Violet and Gen 10, like, water versus water and grass versus grass, and it's night and day, right? They've definitely improved the game quality with the system upgrade, right? I will say, I'm a little scared. I have some concerns. I'm excited, but I have some nervousness.
What is the nervousness about, buddy?
So they did that whole dive underwater thing, and I'm mega hype about being. You and I talked about this. Like, we haven't gotten to do this since Hoenn, but I just don't see how they keep it open world if you go underwater. I'm worried that they're going to go and stay turn based. I'm very concerned that they're going to limit themselves, put a lot of effort into like the overall world and stuff. I just don't know how you control underwater in an open world situation.
This might be dumb, and I might be overthinking it, right? But from the way that it looked, they're probably going to keep it still close to the ocean floor, right? I don't think we're going to get any open ocean interaction a part of Winds and Waves. And I know that sounds goofy.
We're just going to walk along the bottom.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something like that, right? Or we're still going to be we're going to be co-located with the ocean floor in some capacity. And even so, I just don't see how this game is going to be turn-based, especially in an interaction like that, right? Because they were showing all of the Pokemon that were swimming throughout your experience. And to me, that just sounds so silly to show the potential engagements of those Pokemon, right? And then say,
I mean, Scarlet and Violet was open world, and then they did that turn-based.
I know, you're correct, right? But we're talking about, how they just executed Legend ZA, right? They have shown us that they have the capabilities to do that, right? So why revert back to turn-based in that environment?
Why have super smooth sprites as your starters?
Never mind, that's a good point. All right.
Right? Like, that's I'm all about the Pokemon Company innovating and getting better. I'm worried that, like, I've saw a lot of good things, and I'm worried that that's the end. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just don't I don't want it to be I can't be hurt too much. I'm protecting my heart. I'm like, ooh, I love everything I'm seeing. So if this is all that's it's fine. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, do I want them to continue and like have blow it out of the water? Yes.
Yeah.
I do. Like, yes, give us refine the game mechanics of PLZA.
Yep.
Give us the graphics that you've shown us. Give us a massive decks and give us just the biggest Pokemon game we've ever had. Like, I want this thing to have so much content that I'm like, how am I going to finish this like before the DLC comes out in 2 years? You know what I mean? Like, I want that to be my problem.
That's a fair point, dude. I agree with that. And I just, I was so sold for telling myself that, oh yeah, there's no way that they're going to mess up this execution. And then for you to be like, oh, well, you remember the starters that we were just bitching about, 5 minutes ago? Yeah. Wow, dude. That's a little depressing when you think about it, because now, granted, I do have to say this, right? The mechanic of them running and interacting with the Pokemon and what they showed us for the trailer.
Oh, it looks so good.
It looks so good, man.
Also, knowing those Pikachu are specific to the game is sick.
Yeah, and
I didn't realize
customization of Pokemon. I am thrilled about that. There's nothing that could actually turn me off from the game after learning these couple of things for the game, which is the underwater exploration and customization of Pokemon. And I'd say the third thing, probably.
Now, have we confirmed that you can customize all Pokemon?
No, we haven't.
Or is it just that those are unique Pikachus?
No, we haven't confirmed that they're customizing all Pokemon, right? But I'm going to make the assumption, because I'm okay if they let us down on this, right? Because this
what
is
if
not
those are like
anything that
regional
I've
forms of
desired.
Pikachu, though?
That sounds dumb. That sounds so dumb. Regional forms of Pikachu because they've got Hawaiian shirts on. Dog, is there going to be a regional version of Scout when I go to Hawaii in like 6 months?
Maybe.
Now, granted, I will come back like 2 shades darker, so maybe. I might just be a completely different person.
2 shades darker red.
Right? Yeah, I might actually look like a Voltorb instead of the
Oh my Lord.
I don't even know brown. Oh, we'll say Pat Rat. Yeah. That's my.
There you go, Pat Rat. Yeah,
That's the go-to
No,
brown
I mean,
Pokemon.
I want to be so clear. I think that the trailer was incredible. I'm very, very hype. I am shocked that we're not getting it this year. That I actually had to have that. I had to have that pointed out to me. Like I rewatched like another creator's reactions. I think it was Austin John Plays actually.
Yeah.
And he was the one that pointed out. I didn't even see it that it was 2027.
I am not shocked, dude. And the only reason I say that is because of how they released Legend ZA and then the DLC, right? They haven't done anything with Champions. No, dude. I would say they haven't done anything with Champions, right? So obviously in the next couple of months, we're going to get something to do with Champions. They have to, right? They have to keep releasing news that gets us excited about the next thing and the next thing until we get to Worlds and then until we get to Gen 10. Right. So I think Champions is going to be the thing that carries us over. And I was not assuming we were going to get, Gen 10 this year. Right now, granted, it would have been a easy moneymaker for Pokemon to be like, yo, December 20th or December, 16th, sure, Gen 10 gets released this year. Right. Talk about printing money, dude. Everybody would just be like, yep. All right. We're grabbing that game for our kids.
But think about this. Think about this for a second. They didn't even say early 2027.
No, they just said 2027.
So there's a chance here. They always release before the holidays, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Think about like Scarlet and Violet came out during the holidays. Sword and Shield came out during that's when they released their mainline games.
Yep.
There's a chance we aren't getting these things until October, November of 2020. We could be a year and a half out, and they already announced the starters.
I agree with you, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't
That's
really see
crazy.
I don't see a problem with that, considering it is the 30th anniversary and it not happening on the 30th year. Yeah, a little weird. I agree with you there.
But the game could look like, think about how much dev time that is.
Oh my god, dude, they've been working on. Think about how much dev time they've had now.
That's what I'm saying though. Is like from whatever team was allocated to this.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it's the same team that does mainline games. Right, it's Game Freak.
Has to be.
They do a lot of them. I think Game Freak helped out with Pokopia though, or I can't remember. Maybe they helped out with PLZA. Maybe it was that one.
Probably.
They helped out with PLZA.
Yeah.
So they've been busy doing that. But like, when did Scarlet and Violet come out?
Scarlet and Violet came out 2023.
So it's gonna be 4 years. They're getting an additional year because they usually release every 3 years.
Yeah.
So they're getting an additional year of dev time. I'm hoping that just adds to the details. Like, I would be thrilled if Brout, Pombon, and Gekwook actually come out with more detail than that was shown.
That would be wicked. And that, you're right, that could happen, right? And I don't know how people have responded in mass to those Pokemon and their designs, right?
Because I know people love Brout. People love Brout.
People are dying for Brout right now. So I don't know how people have responded in mass, but I wouldn't be shocked if some people did share some reservations, same as us. Now, will Game Freak and the Pokemon Company listen to that? I doubt it, right? And this is what I'll say. I think this has a lot to do with like the Paw Patrolization of games and TV shows. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know a better way to say it, but I was starting to look through a lot of the TV shows that were coming out in the last 5 years and a lot of the video games that were coming out in the last 5 years or so. And it seems like, I don't know if it's laziness or if it's just the theme of the times where everybody feels like, or I'll say the developers of companies feel like they don't have to go the extra mile to be detailed because, it's not that they're lazy, but it's because it's a new design concept.
All I'll say is I think I have a little bit of PTSD here. And I need to remind our fans that I am not solely a Pokemon gamer, right? And I played, and I know you did too.
Did you guys know that he played Dota?
It's not Dota, though. You and I both played so much Elder Scrolls. So much. Skyrim was an incredible game.
Yep.
How long ago did they announce Elder Scrolls 5? Or is it 6? I can't even remember now.
6? What? 7? What year is it? Oh my god. Why do I want to say like 9 years ago?
It's like a decade, dude.
Is it really? Holy
Right?
crap.
They flashed the name.
Oh my god.
They did a big flashy announcement at E3, and then it's been nothing from Bethesda. Nothing.
Jesus.
And so
Wow.
I know Pokemon Company is not like that, right? Like they
No.
do a pretty good job of getting stuff out here, but like that gives me PTSD having to wait for a game,
Yeah.
honestly. So it's probably not even Pokemon Company's fault, but like when you think about like GTA 6, I think it's Elder Scrolls 6.
Yep.
Like you think about all these big games that people have been waiting for forever.
Yep.
It gives me like anxiety waiting for a game now. They've like programmed me to like not want to wait for a game. So that's probably part of it too, to be clear. It's like I'm like, "Oh my god, they said 2027 instead of 2026. What if it's another year?" I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean,
but
I wouldn't be shocked because I wouldn't be shocked because when you think about, some of the other things that were released a part of Pokemon Day was the TCG, right? And
where is the celebration set, by the way?
What do you mean? Like the
when is that coming out? The anniversary set?
We have no idea yet, right? But that's one of the things, a part of the announcements, and I think this is why they're releasing so many old Pokemon games to the Switch 2, is because they're going to break the news to us that we're not getting the game until the holiday season of 2027, right? That's why they're re-releasing Fire Red and Leaf Green, Gale of Darkness, Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire. Because
they're distracting us.
Dude, 100% they're distracting us.
We're being gentle parented by the Pokemon Company right now.
Yes, dude.
All the 30-year-old.
Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, we receive Black and White and Black and White 2,
so funny.
right, in August of next year. Because that is going to be the game that everybody plays moving into the 30th anniversary. Which, okay, I just thought about this because I want to ask you this, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Before I ask you this, let's go back to the TCG, okay? The TCG that we saw, or the snippets of that, where we saw level X's, we saw alternate arts, we saw primes, we saw crystals in the Quapolis.
We saw something very new, by the way.
And that's what I want to talk to you about, especially with the announcements of all the logos. Each Pokemon gets their own individual logo. What do you think is going to be the 30th anniversary TCG set?
I can honestly tell you, I have no idea. Like usually I have some kind of idea or concept, or I could throw something out there wacky and crazy. I think that's why watch me on this channel is like, what's Jen gonna say next? They actually have me confused.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say, because I'm sold on them doing, again, the whole each Pokemon gets their own logo. I think it's easily interpreted that based on the cards they showed us, it's going to be reprints, right? It's going to be very much so like celebrations, and they're going to reprint.
Maybe I just don't want that.
I don't want it either, right? But from what they were showing us, I mean, it's not that Pokemon ever releases anything in a 2+2 manner, right? But you show us all those level X's, all the primes, all the crystals. I mean, what else are we supposed to take away from that other than you guys are going to reprint those artworks and stamp like the 30th Lugia right on the crystal Lugia? You know what I mean? And again, you know what that does? That drives up the hype and market for celebrations, the 25th anniversary, right? So I don't know what's going to happen, but it would be devastating for me if they did
you and I have talked about
reprints.
That. Yeah.
Yep, and we've said that before on the channel, but if this hasn't made it any more clear to you, buddy, I mean, that's where I'm gonna
I don't think they're doing just reprints because of the Mew and Mewtwo that they showed.
You're correct, but that was the Mew and Mewtwo for Pokemon Pocket.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man. Like what I could see them doing, I think Pokemon Company really wants to introduce. It's all about community. It's all about socialization. It's all about trading, right? And like interacting with others. I think what the Pokemon Company is going to try to do is give each region, and when I mean region, I mean like Japan, the Americas, UK. I could see them sending cards with specific stamps to specific regions.
Ooh, see now, dude, now you're cooking. Now you're cooking
So
with some peanut oil. This guy says that he can't come up with anything for this set. Are you kidding me?
I
That's
could see
genius.
that, right? Like I could see them printing 5 versions of the Crystal Lugia, and each Crystal Lugia has a different stamp. And like a Japanese one has a different stamp than the US English versus the UK versus the Chinese, right? And like in order to get the master set, you're going to need all of the stamps. I could see them doing that. I could also just see them doing what you said of like depending upon the card type, it gets a certain stamp. So if it was a crystal, it gets this stamp. If it's a level X, it gets this stamp. They could be doing that too. I cannot be happy if it's just that is the biggest. They've had 5 years. That is exactly what they did for the 25th anniversary.
Yep.
Like did they have any original artworks?
They did.
The Mew, right?
No, the common and uncommon cards and the Mew.
But some of the common and uncommons weren't even freaking originals.
Some of them weren't, right? But like the Zekrom and Reshiram were similar to their black and white counterparts from, the original series, like Black and White, Emerging Powers, Noble Victory, stuff like that.
Listen, it's the 30th. It's a 10-year mark. Like there needs to be a new mechanic. I'm hoping that they're setting us up for something crazy because they showed reprints. I would love to see reimaginations of old cards. Like I'm okay with you calling a card Crystal Lugia and having it be a new artwork.
Now
that I would be okay with.
I was going to say this because I don't know if you saw this on Facebook or maybe I sent this to you, but somebody did take this idea that we are talking about and say, what if they showed us those cards? Because what they're going to do is they're going to expand them. They are going to make them into the
full
illustration rares and full arts and SIRs that we
I'd be
know
fine
today.
With that, but
I would be fine with that to a certain extent. Right, like the Crystal
I think
Lugia,
that kills the value, though.
Well, what do you mean kills the value? We don't have any associated value for these cards yet. Are you talking about the value the original versions? No, absolutely not. Doesn't kill their value. I don't think it will affect their value whatsoever.
You don't think if they just release a bigger, better version of an old card, people are just going to want the bigger, better version instead? Like, why would if there is a better version of Crystal Lugia, why would I want to spend $70,000 on the old Lugia?
Okay, number one, not many people can spend the $70,000, right? But if I had the $70,000, right, and it depends. I mean, there's so many metrics you have to take into account here, right? Number one is value. Okay, people want that because oh my God, maybe I opened that as a kid. Now I'm rich. I've got adult money. Time to pluck that out and let me.
Or they have the one and they have the new one, and now they want. There is that too. Okay, that's fair.
Exactly. So I don't see those version of those cards having as drastic of an impact as you're implying, right? Now,
okay, that's fair.
I think I would be okay with the illustration rare. So I don't even know what that word would be, but creating these artworks as illustration rares or SIRs, I would like it if it wasn't just like, hey, let's blow it up and then just add more waves and more lightning to the Aquapolis Lugia. There would have to be some new dynamic a little bit. You'd have to turn it a little bit.
More pixels,
right?
More pixels.
Exactly, right? You'd have to incorporate maybe a couple other Pokemon in there.
You know what would really make those old cards or these new cards pop too?
What?
Is if you allowed the original artist to expand it.
Oh, yeah.
And if that original artist is no longer available to us, have it be a story, right? Like how does the new artist... Like there has to be some kind of tie, right? Like they were my mentor, my protege, or my hero, or you know what I mean? Like I think that I'm really starting to get into like this side of it. Like there are for people. I think that there is a maturity scale to a Pokemon collector, right? And I truly believe like the old school, like the most mature level. Like people always talk about like your gym playlist. And how you like go through the different phases of your gym playlist, and eventually you end up on like I can't remember if it's like 80s rock or like whatever. I don't remember. I think when you start to look and collect based on the artist, and the stories behind the artists, that should be everybody's goal. Like when you reach that level of enlightenment within the Pokemon TCG collecting space, that's pretty sick. Because I'm still learning that.
Yeah. Now, we talked about this. I have been collecting artists longer than you have, right? And I
Yes.
started doing this about, I think I'd say 2 years ago, maybe. No,
Super
earlier
cool.
than 2 years ago, right? And
Yeah.
I agree with you. There is a certain level of maturity in collecting once you get to that point. Now, what I want to go back to is your comment of having it tie together. Of let's
That'd be
have
sick.
the old artist expand the artwork. I think that I could get behind that entirely. I don't
Yeah.
think I have a single problem with them executing that, so long as there is an incorporation of some other element, right? And a couple more Pokemon, right? Or a background scene, right? For the Aquapolis Lugia, you got to throw in.
You
a
want tag
Gyarados.
teams?
No,
You
no,
want
no,
an
no, no,
entire set of tag teams?
no. I mean, I'm like just Pokemon in the background, right? Kind of like the Ultra
Yeah,
God
yeah.
Aerodactyl, where you see all the fossil Pokemon and all the, yes, exactly, right? Like, again, if you had that cast form, and so the Golem, right? What I would love to do for the Sky Ridge Golem
Yeah.
is expand it and throw in
Add
some Geodudes and some Gravelers,
No, dude,
right?
add like a Machop.
Okay. Why a Machop?
Because they're in their habitat together. There's a whole bunch of different Pokemon that live in the mountains together.
Well, you know what? You're correct about that, buddy, but that was wild. I can't believe that.
You're trying.
I mean,
you're trying to tell me that wouldn't be sweet to just like have a Machop in the background, head in a Golem card.
You know what? It could be cool.
You know the old school Machop where he's holding the boulder up?
Yes, I do. The base set one.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Do that in the background.
Okay, I agree with that. You know what? I'm completely on board with that idea. But what I do want to go back to for Winds and Waves specifically is you saw the cloud, right? The cloud that looks like Gyarados.
Very suspicious. Very suspicious cloud.
So here's what I want to ask.
I think that's the legendary.
Do you think that cloud is a legendary, or is it Gyarados?
I think it's a legendary.
Okay. You think it's a legendary?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you're not going to get... I don't think you're getting regional forms, to your point. It'd be really weird to get regional forms, but they did do that with Alola, so who knows? Getting a regional form of Gyarados would be sick. I do think it's a legendary, though, because when you think about the title, Wind and Waves, what Gyarados is typing is water flying.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a chance that this is like Gyarados' daddy and mommy.
So that's what I was trying to get at. Is I saw, and
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that I don't remember whose TikTok account this was, but I saw a little fan theory, right? Because when you put the Gyarados PNG up, it is literally a carbon copy. It is Gyarados, right?
Yeah.
And so what their idea was that Gyarados is going to be the so-called epicenter of the entirety of Winds and Waves. Like, they're going to revolutionize how Gyarados 1 moves as your partner through the water, right? And they might give Gyarados the ability to fly. Okay? Because they're going to incorporate... Yeah, dude, I was like, this is really cool to think, because the one thing that always annoyed me about Gyarados was the fact that it was flying type, but it can't freaking fly. Okay, so if you take that and
Not
you
that
make
version.
one, well, yeah, but and you make one Pokemon your so-called epicenter, right, of the game. You can build a lot of story behind that.
I don't think it's going to be Gyarados. I want to be so clear that I do not think it will be Gyarados.
If
they
it were
lose
to be
a ton of
Pokemon, what would it be?
That's what I'm. It's going to be a new Pokemon. They're not gonna make the epicenter of their flagship game a Pokemon that has already existed. That is the dumbest business decision they could ever make. They're not going to do that.
You don't think there's enough love behind Gyarados or enough idea and creativity that they could do that?
Absolutely not. No, I think if they do anything, they might spin off Gyarados, but they will never make a pre-existing Pokemon the epicenter of a game ever again after Pokemon Yellow. They have never done it since, and they will never do it again.
I
right?
was going to say Pokemon Yellow.
They always introduce new Pokemon in that role. Think about Legends Arceus. All of the Pokemon that you could move around on were new Pokemon.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about Scarlet and Violet. Koraidon and Miraidon were the flagship. They will never... I have Gyarados hanging in front of me. I think he is one of the coolest Pokemon ever. They will not do a carbon copy of Gyarados. They will either do a regional variant of Gyarados, or they will do a legendary version of Gyarados. And it could tie back to Gyarados in some way. I would be
that's what I'm saying.
Floored if it was actually Gyarados. You know what I'm trying to say? Like if it was just like, this is a Gyarados.
I think there is going to be, I think the legendaries, right, are going to have everything to do with Gyarados. And I think we are more than likely going to get a regional form of Gyarados. I would be shocked, matter of fact, if we did not get a regional form of Gyarados for Winds and Waves, arguably one of the most popular water-type Pokemon we've ever had.
I think, here's the thing, Gyarados already has a Mega. So, like,
I don't want to hear that freaking argument because I'm just going to throw Charizard in your face.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, you got to think about the game here a little bit. Legendaries have to have a stat product that supersedes pseudo-legendaries.
You're correct.
And Gyarados, I think he's like 540 or 550.
He's
so
like
he's
545.
just below. So he's like below the pseudos, because pseudos are 600.
Yep.
And when he Mega Evolves, he surpasses them.
Yes, he
right?
does.
And he goes to Water Dark type. I would not be surprised if these are basically Gyarados. Like, I think they'll be cousins of Gyarados. I don't think they're gonna name it like Gyarados X and Gyarados Y. Like, I think they're going to name this thing as it's going to have tie-in to Gyarados' lore, maybe a little bit, but I don't think it will be Gyarados.
Okay. I mean, I can get.
I would be shocked.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I'm just saying. I was watching this video and I thought, what an interesting idea.
Now hold on.
I would enjoy that because what I was also thinking was, and I would hate them if they do this, right? If they made Gyarados evolve into either of these typings, because then that's another Pokemon that's like a middle stage with a Mega Evolution. That would be irritating to me.
You can't do that because then Gyarados breaks no, you can't. You want to know why? Can you imagine Gyarados with an Eviolite?
Dude, that'd be great.
Gyarados with an Eviolite would be great.
Yes.
Do you remember what Eviolite does?
Yes.
So, just as a recap, Eviolite gives you a 50% boost to both your defense and special defense. So, Gyarados' stats are already nasty. You can't do that. Plus, I think it'd be a waste. I think it would be a huge waste. I agree with you. I love Gyarados. I think he deserves more limelight, actually. But I think that they need to do it in a way that it's like a... I don't think they can spin it off of Gyarados itself. If they do, they got to do it right. That's what I'll say. Please, not an evolution. Please, not an evolution.
Yeah, I would cry if it was an evolution, but that's okay. That's okay. But as far as Winds and Waves is concerned, I am happy that the name is Winds and Waves.
Yep, I agree.
I think
because what was it before?
No, it was Winds and Waves the whole time, right? And then people started thinking that it was going to be something else, right? There were some other leaks or that weren't confirmed, but Winds and Waves has always been, a confirmed leak via the same Reddit user that gave us, right, the initial leaks for all the megas coming out of Legend ZA. So all in all, I am really excited about it. Based on the trailer itself, I give the trailer a 7 out of 10. Right?
Yeah.
I can't go.
I would agree with that,
and I can't go any lower. And again, it's the underwater mechanic that gets it for me.
So speaking of leaks and good ideas, by the way, you know me, I'm very anti-spoiler, and I'm very anti-leaks. So I need to stop. Frankly, I need to unfollow Centro Leaks on X.
You hate leaks, but you're following a leak account. Wait a second.
I don't know why.
That is the most hypocritical, crazy thing you have ever said on this podcast. You keep telling me, hey, do not spoil anything for me. And I found out you're following a leak page. Dude, it's like you're cheating on me. It is actually, I feel betrayed.
Hold on. I turn off notifications when the games get closer because I don't want to know about all the Pokemon Pokédex. That's what I mean by spoiler. I don't want to know the story. However, I got to give him credit because there was a leak and an idea that came out of a new project that Pokemon is working on. And I'll have to look up the name of the project. We'll throw it up on the screen here. But the premise is that you go through every region, starting in Kanto and ending in Kalos. So you're going regions 1 through 6. You play them all. It's an MMORPG. When you complete a region, you have to lock one Pokemon to your party for the next region. That means by the time you finish Kalos, you have a team of 6. That is your locked team. And then at that point, that is your Pokemon team that you use to go take on the Masters 8. So you stay as the same character throughout, right? It's an MMORPG, so obviously you could change what you look like as you go through. But it hits on all of the mechanics you and I have ever talked about of like lock your Pokemon team in, have a progressive storyline, keep the trainer throughout each region. What are your thoughts on this project overall?
Yeah, 100%. I'm sold.
Yeah.
What are my
His
thoughts
response
on
is,
the project?
yeah.
We've been talking about this for months on the podcast, dude. There's literally
response is,
nothing
yeah.
better than I mean, no. What thoughts do you need from me? My only thoughts are I don't know why Pokemon hasn't done this. I mean, dude, this still drives me crazy. Okay, the 25th anniversary. 25 is such a better number than 30th. I don't know why this was not the focus for the 25th anniversary. You're talking a quarter of a century, right? No matter what way you slice it, it's a sexy number. It's a sexy celebration. This should have been a game already. Period. End of story. This is where I get mad at Pokemon's laziness, right? Because that's where it's been.
Sure.
So
They're doing what works.
I am thrilled about it. I'm 100%. I would love that if that came to fruition.
I mean, I think that you and I have talked about the game quality of Pokemon. We've talked about it before. And they do what works. They do what's within their formula. They rarely innovate, and other game studios are doing in this space.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're such a huge proponent of Power World.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it, and I will say it again. We've said it many times. I think Power World is one of the best things that's ever happened to Pokemon, because I do think it forced their hand. So even if you're not a fan of Power World and you are a Pokemon fan, you should be thankful to Power World for making them do this.
You absolutely should. That is the greatest thing Genelac has ever said on the podcast. Matter of fact, dude, you got me feeling some type of way, dog. I'm a little randy right now.
Listen.
He just got my spirits up. He got something else up too, but we're not going to talk about that.
Oh God, it is getting late. We're getting to the dark part of the episode. So now I have a question for you, Scout. You're only allowed to collect and play one of these 2 IPs for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Power World releases a TCG. And they win their lawsuit, and they can do whatever they want in the games. So now you have the Power World TCG plus their game. Or you have the Pokemon TCG and the Pokemon games.
I'm going to preface this by asking, does Pokemon ever create a game similar to Power?
Nope, we're talking just about their current formula, the mainline games that they're doing. No, we don't know. We don't know what they're gonna do. We have to go with what they've done so far.
Okay. All right. With what they've done so far.
What are you gonna say?
Dude, the answer's Pokemon. It has to be. There's just too many games. I know. That felt
you had
really
me
bad.
worried.
That I feel really bad about saying that. There's just too many games and too many games that are just way too good. Like I can replay the hell out of Fire Red, Leaf Green, Gale of Darkness, the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Scarlet and Violet. You know, and so I can sacrifice. I can sacrifice Power World for the sake of enjoying all of those games. Now, granted, a Power World TCG might actually be pretty cool because I'd love to see how they incorporate the elements, you know, for you actually being an attacker along with your pals. So, no, really good question, dude. Really good question. But moving into our next topic of the episode, and guys, we talk about this all the time. We just want to bring it up because some of you might not be aware of what happened. I covered this. I know Genelac probably hasn't covered this yet, but PSA, Professional Service Authentication Company, has another scandal, actually 2 more scandals, and I will provide some background. The number 1 scandal is the lenticular Deoxys. Guys, I don't know if you've ever seen this card before, but it was a promo card that came out in Japan following the Deoxys movie. Wonderful card, right? It makes sense to make a lenticular card for a Pokemon that changes forms. Now, this card is extremely rare. Extremely.
We all know how I feel about Deoxys, and even I feel bad about this.
Oh, yeah. And now in a PSA 10, this card, it has been confirmed to me that this card has a street trade value of roughly $55,000 to $60,000. Okay?
That's crazy.
Now, a PSA just sold a copy for $45,000 on their PSA account through eBay. Okay.
Okay.
There was a gentleman that sent in his PSA 10 copy that was graded back in like 2007, 2009, right? I got to verify the year that it was graded. But he sent it back in because he wanted to get it re-slabbed. He wanted to get it in a newer slab and a newer certification because he just said the old slab just didn't look too good.
Well, you just saw Logan Paul do it with the Illustrator.
Exactly. You saw, and this is what I wanted to bring this to. He sent it back in, right? You know,
not a regrading.
Everybody's
just
like, you know what,
reslabbing.
this is fine, right? Yeah, it's not a regrade, right? It's not like you're transitioning a Beckett slab to a PSA. No, this is just a re-slabbing. Hey, this old slab or this slab got cracked or whatever. I still want the grade, the cert number. You just have to put it in a new slab, updated slab. Yeah, guys. Oh my God, he gets an email because PSA damaged his card, damaged the lenticular deoxys. All right. Now they, their legal team sends him an email, and a part of this email, they say, hey, your card has been damaged in the reslabbing process. Now it has a value or it has a grade of a PSA 6. PSA 6, guys.
4 grades.
Yes. 4 grades because they damaged it. They said it now has a value of $850. Okay. In combination, they say, oh, we have declared that this would have had a PSA 10 value of $22,000, guys. Now, mind you, they just
PSA sold one for 45.
Just sold one for 45 days prior. Okay?
Yeah.
So they also say because of the fact that we have to, one, reslab it, and because of the damages, and because we have to email you and all this other stuff, they're charging him $188. Okay, so they charge him on top for processing. And guys, this is just unbelievable. The fact that PSA was, number one, haven't owned up to the fact that they sold one for $45,000 and they haven't made a statement. They have not made a statement. And not to toot my own horn here, my video got 200,000 views, right?
And it's been what, a week?
A week.
2 weeks almost?
So people know that this happened, right? PSA was tagged in the comments over 400 times. They know that people are aware of the situation. So my thing to you guys is, and why I wanted to bring this up, is we've already said we are not proponents of PSA. We highly recommend stop grading with PSA, but we know that you guys aren't going to listen to us. Now, if you are going to take any risks involving PSA, you need to be aware of these processes. Now. I mean, guys, this is wild because they took the average of the last, I think it was 4 solds for a PSA 10 lenticular deoxys over the course of 6 years, guys. There's only been, I think, 4 sales. I think is what it came out to, which is why they got the value of $22,000 rather than them just saying, hey, we sold the copy for 45. It's not worth 45. Anyway, Genelak, I would love to know your thoughts on the situation, buddy.
I am frustrated at this point because it's so blatant, it's so disrespectful, and I'll be honest with you, I feel trapped because it's almost impossible to unless you go grade yourself. All you could do is go buy PSA. It's so annoying to me. Like, I was literally at a card show yesterday, and I had every vendor there had 80 to 90% of their booth was PSA, and they only wanted to buy PSA. I had a guy that was like, PSA only. I do not buy tag. And I just looked at him, and I was like, brother, you are insane, first of all. If you are still wanting if you're wanting PSA, I stand by this. We talked about this with Rado, and I think him and I disagreed. I think the biggest problem is vendors when it comes to PSA. 1,000%.
Oh, yeah.
Vendors are the ones that cycle the network, right? They are the middlemen. They are the messengers. They are the packmen and pack women of the hobby.
Yep.
So if they're the ones that are saying, I won't take your tag slabs, I'll only take your PSA because they have so much value locked in PSA, that's their fault.
Yeah.
And I keep telling everybody, I will buy your tag 10 over your PSA 10 every day of the week. I'm still looking for Charizard SIR at a tag 10 in person. I don't want to pay the eBay fees. And right now, you have to pay a premium for tag.
Yep.
I don't care what people say. You have to pay a premium. The pop is lower. people are starting to want it. So tag's going for more. I don't care what the eBay last sold say. I don't give a crap about that because frankly, eBay and PSA are in cahoots at this point. They have an entire vault. Like, I'm not going by that anymore. I'm going off of word of mouth and what I see in person. And I'm telling you, people are looking for tag. They want tag. They're submitting to tag. We saw a massive boost in tag. And I'm a proponent of tag. I've said that.
Yep.
CGC has had their problems. I also don't like their slab.
Yep.
That's nothing against them. I think they're better than PSA. I've said it a billion times. PSA looks great with the vintage card because it's the old school label. That's it. So when I go to a card show and I get frustrated because I can't find the Mega Gardevoir in a tag slab, so I have to buy it in a PSA slab. Do you guys understand how closely I look at PSA slabs now? Because we talk about this a lot, that you have to buy the card.
Yep.
Don't just go pick up a PSA 10. Pick that thing up and look at it like it was a single. Because there's going to come a day when you're going to want to take these things out of PSA. At this rate, you're going to want to take it out of PSA and move it into a slab.
Yep.
And right now, we have seen time and time again, many people have done this challenge, Scout included, that it is way easier to cross-grade a card from a different company into a PSA 10 than a PSA 10 into a different company. Yep. So you're going to have a bunch of PSA 10s, and I think that's why vendors are scared, baby. They're like, wow, if PSA loses its value and I have to crack these things and try to resubmit them to a tag, I don't even know if Beckett still counts because they're all owned under the same umbrella. So if I have to resubmit this to tag or AGS or some other newcomer that comes along, they're probably nervous because they might lose hundreds of thousands of dollars because it gets a 9.
Yep. I agree, man. That's why, and I will speak from the vendor side. I agree with you entirely because one thing that sucks for me, right? And this was before, PSA, all these new latest scandals started coming out, right? And they started doing the, buyback program and all that, right? I have, no kidding, probably, I'd say $29,000, maybe $35,000 tied up in PSA slabs. Oh yeah, dude.
Yep.
I'm terrified and then them going down, right? I'm also terrified about having to crack them and send them to tag because I'm affiliated with tag, right? But I'm terrified of having to crack the PSA ones and send them to tag because I don't think they'll get a tag 10.
Yeah.
I'm seriously.
It's way harder.
Yeah, I
get
don't
a tag
think
10.
they will. And so, yeah, I will speak from that side as well. And I mean, again, you're right. PSA slabs just move. They move so much easier. But now my biggest problem with this, right, the lenticular deoxys thing is imagine if this happened to Logan Paul, right? How quickly would that have been resolved, right? Just imagine it happening to anybody with a substantial following and influence
like
across the state, like Kim Kardashian, right? And we'll talk about her in a second. But you see that, right? What do you think?
It would never make it to the public. They would reslab it in a 10, even if they damaged it. They would put that thing back in a 10, even if they damaged it. I promise you. And they would act like nothing happened. And that's why people talk about Logan Paul's Illustrator as it's not a 10.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, based on power, reputation, it never would have happened to Logan. If they damaged that thing, they would have found a replacement like a PSA 9 or a PSA 8, where they would have bought it hush-hush and they would have put it in there. It's depending on how damaged it was, or they would have doctored it themselves.
Mm-hmm. I guarantee they would have bought somebody to come and clean and fix the card.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I promise you, it never would have happened. It happens. I'll be honest. I don't have a lot of trust in PSA. I'm actually shocked that they even tried this specifically because of how high profile the card was. I would expect their A team to be doing the reslabbing. So I'm shocked that this happened in the first place because I do trust their process to an extent, right? Like the people that work there aren't nincompoops. They're good at what they do for the most part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not dumb. And I know they have A-team graders and all that. So it'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out because it has been a long time to not make a statement. And if they think that this is just going to go away over time, it's not, right? Like it could go another couple weeks and he'll just post about it again and we'll all take it. Every single one of us will take it and hold PSA accountable. We should do.
Yep.
And I think the only way
for
that this gets
$45,000, dude.
oh more,
if not more.
you could sue for more emotional damage, whatever the heck you want to call it. Right? Like lawsuits are weird. But what I will say is the only way that this gets fixed is people need to stop submitting to PSA. There's already a huge populations of cards in a PSA 10. So the PSA population is already out there. You have to start submitting to the other graders to get the populations up in the other grades, because I agree with you. Vendors are a little trapped right now too. I came at them a little hot, right?
Yep.
But vendors are a little trapped too.
Yep.
Because if the population for tag isn't out there and people, I was asking around. I was like, who's got tag? I would check. It's, IRs. There's a bunch of IRs and tag slaps. Like none of the big hitters were in tags because everybody was doing PSA. And that's the problem.
Yep.
Vendors, if you're submitting to PSA, shame on you. I'm still mad at you. And I still have the heat that I brought earlier. However, I understand not wanting to crack PSAs and submitting them to tag because of the risk.
Yep.
It's still a business, so I get that. But individuals who are not buying tag and saying that, and individuals who are not submitting to tag and or other grading companies, I'm okay. I actually don't care right now. Tag's my number one. Give AGS a try. Give CGC a try. I don't care. It's got to not be PSA right.
Yep. I agree wholeheartedly. And I don't know if anybody's going to start doing that, but if you are listening to
BGS is still fine, I think, for now.
Yeah, I'd agree with BGS, but they did show their latest report, right? And the amount of cards they got in a day, bro, plummeted by like 17%.
Becca did?
Yeah, dude, I'll see if I can find it. Somebody on Instagram posted it. I know I'm following some account that posted like the daily grading numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll see if I can find it. I can put it up. But yeah,
the big
PSA
winners were
shot way
CGC
down.
and tag.
Oh, dude, tag submissions went up like 29% or something, which is incredible. And I can actually testify to that because, again, as an affiliate of tag, if you use my code, right, PokeScout10, okay, you save 10% on all grading orders. Now, I get to see like how many cards have been submitted and like who uses my code, right? I don't actually get to see like your name and stuff. I just see like this order number was associated with my code. Okay. I'd pull it up from my phone to get you an exact answer, but all I know is that today, 8 cards were submitted. Yesterday, 27. Yesterday, 37. Yesterday, and like it was massive. I haven't seen these numbers in probably a year since I started initially promoting them. Right. So, yeah, I 100% think that people are starting to wake up and go to tag. And I'm not saying that tag has to be the move for everybody. Right. I want to say it.
No.
Right. But
I would love to say that too.
Yeah, I would love to say it. But anyway, moving on. Right. I want to talk about the next topic, which I never saw coming. Ever. Right. Kim Kardashian ripping packs with Steve Aoki. What do you think?
That was crazy. Yeah, and she's walking card shows and asking about lovebirds in a black label and buying her son. I can't remember what she bought him.
The Charizard?
Yeah, she bought him the Charizard. I mean, this isn't new. Like, having big celebrities in the space is not new.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not overly... Like, Kim's a big name, but she's probably not even the biggest name we've had in the space. I think Kim is the most... unexpected name. It's the most unexpected name we've had, but it's really not her kids, right? So I think that there are a lot of really powerful people out there with children, and those children love Pokemon. So it should not be surprising to anyone. I mean, in all honesty, the guy who bought Logan Paul's card is kind of just a super rich kid. I got to give the guy his flowers. Sense that he's probably worked very hard himself too, and he's not a kid anymore. But there's that's what I'll say. It's like I'm not surprised by it, to be honest. Like, I think they probably don't do that themselves. They probably use middlemen to go find the cards they want. 99% of the time, surprised that she went and did that in person. But her kids wanted to get out. Her kids wanted to card show. They're probably somewhere between 10 and 12-year-old boys. Like, that's when they want to start venturing out. So I think it's awesome. I mean, it's a good and a bad thing. I'm happy for her. I'm happy for the kiddos. I'm sad for the hobby because as more money gets involved, it's like, those lovebirds, you were there when I bought mine at Chicago Collecticon. And I asked the guy what his black label was because he had a PSA 10 and he had a black. And at the time, I did not have the inventory to trade, nor the cash. He wanted $15,000.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I looked at you and I was like, I still think that's a good buy. Like, I think that's a fair price. I would love to get it. I just don't have that kind of coin, nor do I have anything to trade him to cut the deficit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with what I can afford, and I bought the, $2,400 PSA 10, which I did well there, right?
Yep.
So now that being $100,000, because it was in the same video, that's why I'm about it, is just, that's mind-blowing to me. And I was at a card show over the weekend, and you guys, that I got to see a Black Label memory on. And I think that dude was asking, I think he was saying somewhere in that 40 to 50,000.
Yeah, I want to say right now it goes for about 45, maybe 50.
That's what he was looking for. Shout out Kyle at Sea Serpent Collectibles. I got a video coming out of me interviewing him, later this week. But so yeah, those Black Label cards are still holding a premium. I haven't heard anything bad about Beckett, and I hear a lot of news about Beckett because One Piece uses them a lot.
Yep.
And the One Piece fandom is very happy with Beckett. I will say I had a friend submit to Beckett, and they put the wrong label in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is a close friend of mine. He is not a big name. He doesn't even make content. He's just an avid One Piece collector. And they just put the wrong label. Like, it wasn't even the right character. And I'm like, oh boy. Like, it's already starting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the quality control, I hope that it's not the case. That I always compare it to the Jersey Mike's acquisition. Jersey Mike's used to be my favorite sandwich, and then they got bought by private equity, and I just knew it was only a matter of time before the sandwich sucked. I'm worried that's what's going to happen with Beckett. So right now, I think Beckett's probably fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long it's going to be fine. It used to be my number 2. It used to be Tag and Beckett were clearly 1 and 2. And then after that was PSA by a pretty wide margin. And then after that, I just don't like the slabs. I'm sorry. If you ever watch this, I don't know your guys' rumor. I don't know T from way back in the day. I know you had a hard time, early 2020 maybe, or late 2019, 2018. I don't remember what it was. Scout probably knows more about that than me. I just don't like your fonts, dude. I think they look dumb.
Yeah,
I think they're way too bubbly.
Yeah, I don't like CGC at all either, dude. It's bad.
Yeah, listen, I got some old CGC slabs here, right? Like the blue labels from back in the day, those need to get cracked. I don't know. If you're a CGC fan, great for you. I know that they turn fast, and if you like their slab, you like their slab. I can't. I don't know. And then AGS, when I was down in Arizona, I know tried to pitch that to me. I could just never get behind it. I knew nothing about it. It didn't seem to have any traction anywhere. It's like if Tag they just did things differently or wrong comparatively to Tag. I don't know.
Well, you did mention the card show, dude, and I want to know a little bit more just because you had mentioned that you interviewed a couple of people. I love your interviews, and I know we have viewers that love your interviews as well. But give us a quick recap. I want to know more about the old Emerald City.
Yeah, Emerald City Card Show. Shout out Byung. It's one of my new favorite card shows. Him and I really like him. It's a new show this year in the Seattle area. And the Seattle area has struggled to have card shows. I don't know why. It's a hotbed. I have no idea why, considering Tabletop Village is here, a champion, right? It made no sense to me, but we only got Front Row and Twin Oaks. And Twin Oaks is kind of a local, small one. And then there's Front Row. Collecticon's never been here. Card Party finally came here last year, right?
Yep.
So Emerald City and Maximum kind of popped up recently. And Emerald City, I think it's a really good card show. It's ran really well. I think the vendors really like it, which in turn, happy vendors equals happy customers. I've talked about it a little bit, though. There are a lot of vendors out there. All of these shows are 110, 150 tables. These are big. These used to be considered really big shows, right? And I'm seeing Front Row sell out 500 tables. So there's a lot of vendors in the space. I want to give a little advice to these vendors. Because I've been in the game a long time. And I know good vendors and bad ones. And I know there's a lot of new vendors. And actually, one of my favorite creators, his name is Junior. He doesn't make a ton of content, but he'll do his story because he works for Tabletop Village. And his name's Play for Second, right? And he does a lot of vendor 101. Like, don't let a deal walk over $5. Like, moving the money, moving the card and making a little bit of money is better than holding on to it and blah, blah, blah. And they're like just going over vendor etiquette stuff, right?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of vendors out right now that think they can demand a premium in a couple of different ways. And oftentimes it's all the above. What I mean by that is they want the big hitters in the right slabs at a low percentage. And that's just not how it works. Until you establish rapport with repeat customers, and even then, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So, like, if you're asking for PSA 10 Lovebirds, I'm not, like, I have them. I don't really plan on selling them. But if I do, it's going to be for 100% market. Like, you are not going to touch that card for any type of deal. Because my assumption is that it continues to go up. It's like, I mean, how do you view it? As a vendor, how do you view the PSA 10 level?
I view that as a card that I would have, number one, in my cabinet, just to have in my cabinet, right? And that's not a leverage piece. You know what I mean? For any reason, right? Like, that's, if it was a leverage piece, and I'll say this, it would have to be as a part of $100,000 deal. Right?
Right.
Because in my mind, for something like that, number one, I'm not buying that for, like, I'm not going to insult somebody and buy it for less than 88%. I'm more than likely going to say, hey, man, I need some room on this, so I want to buy it at about 92, right? 90 to 92. I couldn't go any lower than 90 and feel good about myself. And even so, if it was a part of a $100,000 deal, I would still not go lower than 94%.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I want to make 2% on a $10,000 card, sure. I mean, I don't mind that. I'm not going to be super upset about it. Yeah.
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 Well, and it's one of those things too. You hold it, it's going to keep going up.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing too. Is I think a lot of these vendors too, they know they can make money, and they want to make money as fast as possible.
Yeah. Absolutely.
With as minimal work as possible, and that's my caution to them. Of just like as a collector, and I'll give RoboSkills his credit here. He said it. Time in the hobby is the best way to make money in the hobby.
God, yeah.
It's the same thing for vending.
Mm-hmm.
Time in vending is the best way to make money in vending, right? Like that's what I'll say. So I don't vend, but I work with vendors a lot for a long time. So when I have people ask me, hey, I'm only buying PSA, I'm buying at 80 or 90%, but it depends on what you have. I'm like, oh, see, I'm going to go talk to one of my friends I've already done deals with, because I'm going to go talk to Scout, and Scout's going to buy all of my PSA at a high volume because he's going to take the good with the mediocre with the bad because he can move it all. Because he's established, he's a great vendor, he has a reputation. So if you're a new vendor, you might have to take a hit or two to establish your reputation, right? You want to be somebody that people want to do business with, right? So I'm being very nice to our local vendors. And like I sold my Japanese sealed stuff for 80%.
Yep.
And I did that because, yes, there was a 151 box in there. And I know that should be way higher than 80. But there was also some Pokemon Go and some Raging Surf. So I'm like, you know what? Fine. Like, I'm new to selling the sealed to this local area. I want the local vendors to want to work with me, so I'll do this for now. Right? And I also sold a large English sealed set. But I didn't sell it, I did trade. And I did all trade. So it was about $1,400 worth of English sealed. And the very first guy I talked to, he wanted to be at like 80 to 82% for out of print sealed, which is a little low for me for trade. It's a little low. It's not too bad, right? Because there's like an Astral Radiance. There's like 2 Astral Radiance building battle, right? There's a lot of Pokemon Go in there. I'm a Pokemon. I like the Pokemon Go set. I get it. It's probably hard to move, right? Yeah. But it is out of print and it is sealed. So I walked the whole show. He was like, yeah, take your time, walk around. And a lot of people wanted to break it up. They just wanted the bangers. They're like, I'll take the Fusion Strike ETB at 85%. And I'm like, what? Like, no. Like, why would I give you a Fusion? Like, I could move this yesterday. Like, one post to any of my socials. Doesn't matter. That thing's gone.
Yep.
Right. So that was my experience. A lot of it yesterday was like I did a lot of weird haggling where I was like, dude, that's not how this works. Like
No.
I was very confused. You could tell who the first vendor, you could tell he was established, right? I came back to him. I was like, hey, can I get you up to 84? Right? Like I really need to be a little bit higher than 82. And he did it, right? He was like, yeah. Like let's talk about it. So we did the 84. He let me keep the guards. One of the guards on one, right? Which like his partner was like, you're gonna let him keep the guard? He's like, dude, come on. Like this guy spotted me $40 in cash because it kind of worked out towards the end. Shout out Jim, because he was really easy to work with, and that's the way it should be when you're doing a $1,400 deal or $1,500 deal. Yeah. We weren't sweating $40 here, $50, right? It was like, let's just get the deal done, right? We're happy about it, and so that was a great experience, which is ultimately why I went with him. I could have worked the show, sold off certain things, it got 88, 90%. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to work with the one guy who it made sense, and we went from there, right? And I think that was my experience. Is there was a lot, and don't get me wrong, I like the haggle. I like it. That's part of the card show. But there's I mean, you can explain it. You work them all the time. There's a certain rapport that you have to build, and there's just certain percentages, and you can't be firm on, like, you just can't be firm on certain things.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I'd love to go into more detail on that, but you pretty much nailed it on the head, dude. And there's a lot of people that come to my booths now at any show that I go to just because they remember a deal that we did and they had so much fun that they want to try to make another deal, whether it is just for a couple of singles or it is, a bigger deal, right? And some deals I'm way too generous on, right? But some deals I'm also like, hey, dude, I'm not bending a knee. Like, this is not happening. You're going to acquire this at my price or not. So good on you for, making certain that you're doing that in your area because, guys, he's right. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do to make sure that you're successful.
100%. Like I don't want every deal to be about one guy winning and the other guy losing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a lot of the times it's, hey, if you can move my sealed because you have the time and you're working shows. I don't work shows. Yeah. So if you can set up a shelf behind you and put all my sealed out there, and over the next 3 shows, you can get 90 to 95% because it's out of print sealed, do it. Right? And I get to walk away. I get to consolidate. I get to go down to a couple slabs, maybe bring a little cash back home, and everybody's happy. Right? I had like some guy comment, because I did a recap video on this. I had some guy comment, so you lost $300. Right? Because I went in there with 2,000 in sealed, and I walked out of there with like 1,770 in cash. Right? Or not in cash, in trade and cash. And some guy's like, you lost $300 then to these so-called vendors. And I'm like, brother, yes, if I wanted to sell all of that at market, I could have done it, but it would have taken forever for me because I don't work card shows. So I would have had to list all of it online. If I didn't want to list it on TCG Player or eBay and pay the fees, which between 13 and 50%, right? Yeah. So you're already looking at 87 to 85. Yeah, like you're already looking at that there. So the only place I can go do it is Facebook Marketplace. Do you know how many people flake on Facebook Marketplace?
Yes.
You could be sitting there with that stuff for months, and a lot of them want to break it up too because they're collectors. What do they care about? If they don't like Pokemon Go, they don't want to buy the Pokemon Go. That's how customers work. So you're going to a vendor because they're willing to take on that effort.
Yep.
And that's the piece I think people don't understand. Yes, I could have made $300 more if I wanted to put the time in. I made this deal in like a couple hours while working the card show as a content, right? Yeah. So if I lose $300, no, that's not a loss to me. I didn't want it anymore. I wanted other stuff. I wanted this. I've wanted the Mega Gardevoir. I got it now, right? Yes, it's in a PSA. Nobody had tag. Again, there was no tag anywhere. That was my experience.
That's a lovely experience, buddy. And you know what? Yep. I think there's no better way to end the episode, especially after hearing everything about Emerald City. Shout out to
Byung. Shout out to Byung, Emerald City. We're working on that, guys. I'm talking to Byung about getting Scout to come out to Emerald City in the States. So that could be pretty silly too. We'll see who shows up first. Me with you. Is it DC Traders? Mm-hmm. DC Cards?
Yep. DC Card Traders. Shout out Dan and
Let's see who shows up first. Me with Dan and Michaela at DC Card Traders, or Scout with Byung at Emerald City. Make it a race. I hope both of you win.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is the conclusion of episode 31, a part of the Critical Hitz Podcast. My name is Trainer Scout.
I am Genelec Gaming. And this has been Critical
Hits. You guys have a very, very lovely night.
Enjoy your week, guys.